Hello and welcome to Rock Your Block. I'm your host, Tia Young. Our topic today focuses on retraining America's workforce through strategic partnerships. This is the first of a three-part series that we will be doing over the next several weeks. Today, we bring back a returning guest who is the founder of Intuit Learning, LLC. He has multiple engineering degrees and has developed a learning system that facilitates STEM for all ages. Intuit Learning, LLC prepares students academically for the collegiate environment and makes them employable in the tech industry. We also have two distinguished ladies from the Capital Guardian Youth Challenge Academy, also known as CGYCA, whose mission is to provide a second chance at success for high school dropouts and disengaged youth. Please welcome to Rock Your Block set, returning guest Ronnie Dasgupta, founder of Intuit Learning, LLC, Nicole Atchley, program coordinator for CGYCA, and LaToya Hamilton, counselor for CGYCA. Good afternoon. Thank you for coming.
No problem.
Yeah,
How's everybody doing?
Doing well.
Good,
You?
good.
Doing real well, thank you.
Well, I got tons of questions, so we're going to get right into it. And Ronnie, we're going to start with you.
Cool.
Tell us a little bit about your being founder of Intuit Learning, LLC, and what the organization is all about.
I originally founded Intuit Learning because I struggled through engineering myself, and I found it very difficult. Yeah, it's extremely difficult. It's right up there with med school, and people don't know that. It's pretty hard. So I created it so that, with engineering, it helps you, if you understand it, you can innovate, right? And we've kind of went away from that. So our objective at Intuit Learning is to take students and make them collegiate ready, so they don't struggle as much. They understand it becomes intuitive knowledge. That's why we called it Intuit. And we also want to make them ready for the workforce so that they're readily employable.
Okay, good. LaToya and Nicole,
How you doing?
talk to me about your roles and just a little bit about the organization that you work. I'll go first.
Well, I am a counselor at the Capital Guardian Youth Challenge Academy, and my role basically is helping the cadets with their day-to-day issues. I help them with any stressors that they may have amongst their peers, to the educational side, getting ready for the GED, to the GED ready, and then also when it's time for them to graduate. A lot of times they face a lot of anxiety with having to return back to their community.
And LaToya, how long have you been working for the organization?
For a little over 5 years.
Wow, okay, all right, good. Nicole?
Well, I'm the program coordinator. My basic role is to pretty much make the program function. So I take everyone's collaborative ideas and I deal with the schedule, I organize their events, I deal with community service, electives, everything they kind of need to do to get through the program for the 22 and a half weeks that they're there. Yes, ma'am.
Tell us a little bit about the program. What encompasses the program? What does it entail?
Well, the program is all about the 8 core components. Through these 8 core components, we're teaching the cadets life skills, job skills, pretty much how to be productive members of their community. There is something missing when they was at home, and we're there to fill that void and teach them those skills. It's not really all about education, because the education they can get, it's how to function in a school, a schoolhouse, how to get a job and keep a job, how to be good kids,
Right.
Good daughters and good fathers and good sons, because some of them do have kids. So we teach them all these skills so they can be an all-around person.
Okay, so your school, LaToya, it's men and women, young girls and
Yes.
and boys. What is the age? Is there age limit?
16 to 18.
16 to 18.
Yes.
Oh, okay, very good. Okay, Ronnie, how does technology affect the job market?
Oh, well, technology, it actually creates jobs, right? So its ability to create more and more jobs, and it also raises the wages naturally. So that's how it really affects the market. So it's very important that people understand technology and be able to innovate so the growth is always there.
Right, and so when we say technology, what are we talking about? Are we just talking about being able to go on to the Microsoft suite and work on that, or what is What is technology?
So technology is another word for it is innovation, new thinking, right? The new products on the market. So it's not just
Software and hardware.
Yeah. So it's not just taking Microsoft products and making new jobs with it, but also creating other companies that can, I hate to say it because I'm not competing with Microsoft, but something else that's a different product that's competitive, right? And that competition makes the market thrive,
Okay.
right? And that's how wages go up.
Okay.
And that's how jobs are created.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's good. How does Intuit Learning's collaboration with the Challenge program, I mean, how does that come into play? How are you two working together? Because you're what, a nonprofit, a 501c3? Are you 501c3?
We are not a nonprofit.
You're not a nonprofit?
No, because we're funded by the Department of Defense.
Oh, okay.
So we do not
you're
make any
defense-
money, but we are funded by DOD.
DOD,
So
okay.
the
all
federal
right.
government and the state, which will for us would be the district, they fund our program.
Okay.
But we do have a nonprofit organization that also helps us, which is our Capital Garden Youth Challenge Foundation, and they are the nonprofit portion of the program.
Okay, all right. And so Ronnie, how do you work?
So
with the challenge?
What we do is these students are, from my understanding of the challenge program, they're getting a second chance to get their GED. What we offer them are software type courses with coding and other courses that are coming up, so that one, your geometry and algebra are reinforced. That's very important. Two, they learn to think logically. And they gain more confidence because like, oh wow, I never thought I could do something like that, right? And we're starting to see results that way. Also, we want them to be able to. We do introduction courses over there. Obviously, we don't have time to go into the nitty gritty of everything, but we would like to eventually take those students and help them become workforce ready in the future, so they have other careers so they can go into once they learn the discipline and the skills necessary from the challenge program. Because to code and to do more engineering, to more technology, it requires a structured environment. It cannot have an unstructured environment.
Okay.
So they really help out by giving us that structured environment.
Okay, very good. So you mentioned that the students are coming to you because they need a second chance. So Nicole and LaToya, tell me, when we say second chance, what are we talking about? What kind of issues have these kids been exposed to?
Well, to be honest, I would say that a lot of times they are disengaged from school altogether.
You mean not going,
not
or
going,
dropped out?
dropped out. A lot of them may still be enrolled, but they're just not going, or maybe they are going to school, but they're not sitting in the classroom. So this is their opportunity to have not only the support of their family, but now staff at the academy who's there. You're going to have the casualty there 24/7, but then the remainder of the staff that come in every day to just help them and encourage them to just do the schoolwork, study like they're supposed to, get ready for the GED, and again, along with just being well-rounded adults so that they can go back to their communities and provide services.
So how do they get into your program? Are they being referred by a teacher or a principal, or how do they know about Challenge?
Well, it's a bunch of different kind of referrals. So the biggest advocates are going to be other students. So if you graduated, you're going to tell your friend, hey, come to this program. It's going to be really good. The teachers, you get some that might refer if they know about it. Police officers might refer them. Judges might refer them. Parents have known somebody else. So it's all, the word of mouth is the biggest thing. Seeing the product, seeing people come home like, look, you got to get out of the streets, you got to do this, here's an opportunity for you. And so they take that chance, because that's what they're doing, they're taking a chance with us.
Now I know that you guys have core values. The academics is very important, but as you said earlier in your introductory remarks that some of these core values are really critical too, because if you don't have those, you may not be able to keep a job, So let's talk a little bit, LaToya, conflict resolution. Talk to me a little bit about that.
Oh, so with conflict resolution, during the first 2 weeks, it's called acclimation phase. And so, you're around different personalities, people who you may know, they look familiar, or maybe you don't know them at all. And you just have to deal with the different personalities. We want them to be able to understand that when conflict arises, the first thing we don't want them to do is fight. Right. You know, we don't want to resort to violence at all. So we teach them techniques and different skills on how to manage not only their anger and their emotions, but also how to be able to talk it out as young adults.
Do the classes start like in September, or can they come in at any time? Is it a year-round program, or?
So the program is 5.5 months.
Okay.
So you're going to have a class that starts in January, and then you have another class that starts in July. Am I saying that right?
June.
I mean June. Sorry, yeah, June.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Good. And then the next core, I call it core competency, financial literacy, which I think is important. So talk about that, and does that include banking?
Yes, it does. I would definitely say that's probably one of my favorite portions of counseling, is being able to teach the financial literacy class. And that's really because it's extremely important for our cadets to understand how to just manage their money, budgeting, and being able to pay their bills on time. We want them to be able to go back into the community and live independently, successfly. We don't want them to have to depend on anyone or, you know, even resort back to going back home. So, you know, we're teaching them how to manage their money, being able to get that job, because they're going to learn through job skills, you know, how to go to an interview and obtain a job, maintain the job also. So, you know, just being able to be successful.
Right. And do you have banks that work with you where they come into the classes?
Yes. So we have Bank-One DC, and then we also have PNC, who we partner with. We have a lot of them come out during the class to teach different things like how to build credit, investing, budgeting again, and then also just managing your savings and checking account.
Okay. How many students, I'm just curious, how many students do you usually have, you know, for a 5-month period that come in? Just an average.
Average should be about 50 would be the average, the
You
median.
have 50 at one time? Wow. Is it pretty equally distributed, men and women? Or you have more girls? More girl cadets?
It's usually going to be more males than females. This class, we actually have a good amount of females, but yes, it's usually more males.
Oh, that's good to hear. Well, you know what we're going to do? We are going to take a short station break, and we want to share this very cool challenge program video. So don't touch that dial.
What is your coding background before you came in? This is for both of you. So whoever wants to go first.
I had no experience with it.
Okay.
At all. What's it called?
Okay.
I know the basics.
And now what do you think? You know, now what's happening now?
Now I could do a little. I could do a little bit of dabbling in it, and I know how to insert things on a web page.
Okay.
Welcome back. You're watching Rock Your Block with our special guests, Ronnie Dasgupta, founder of Intuit Learning, LLC, Nicole Atchley, program coordinator, and LaToya Hamilton, counselor, both from Capital Guardian Youth Challenge Academy, also known as CGYCA. Before the break, we were talking about core competencies, and so LaToya, I want to go back to you and ask if you can come up with an example of a conflict resolution that you were able to successfully resolve.
Absolutely. So I know back last class, that would be class 50 for us. The young ladies, we didn't have many. I think it was about 5 or 6 at the time, and they were just not getting along at all. It just seemed like they were always butting heads. You know, the communication was just off. You know, someone might say something one way and they would take it the wrong way. So we decided to do an exercise. An exercise was called the Royal Chair. With the Royal Chair, that calls for one of the young ladies at a time to sit in the chair, and everyone had to go around the room and say 3 nice things about the young person. That really brought them together. It seemed like from that point on, they were able to focus on the good in one another versus, you know, picking out, you know, or pinpointing, you know, the negative things. So that was really good.
That's good. I like that. I like that story. It's a good story. Nicole, now you know a lot about the community portion of it. So talk about community service and how that plays a role with your cadets.
So the community service, they are required to do 40 hours of community service. Our director wants them to do 100 hours of community service. So it is my job to see how close I can get to that. So
to the 100,
To
right?
the 100.
To the 100.
I've gotten a few cadets in class 50 in the 90s.
Wow.
Yes. So when I first asked the cadets about community service, they're kind of like, whatever, I have to do it. But once they start going, they really start getting into it. And the cadets that you might have the biggest issues with at the program, they go out in the community and they're lifting boxes, they're helping people, they love it. They show out completely. And sometimes the best cadet goes to community service and is kind of like, whatever. But they start seeing the value in it. They start seeing, okay, I'm giving back to the community. Why are people not doing this in my particular neighborhood? Why can't I have this? They're talking to the community leaders like, hey, can I come back and work?
Right.
You know, permanently, and it's just amazing the kids that start asking these questions, and I bring it back to the academy, and I'll mention the kid's name. They're like, really? They want to do more? Like, they want to do more. They see the value. They enjoy it. They enjoy getting off campus first, but then they just really enjoy helping somebody and knowing that they're helping somebody, whether they're stuffing bags for homeless, or if they're doing stuff for the elderly, or just in the community doing cooking demonstrations, passing out groceries at the local elementary schools in Southeast DC. They absolutely love it, and they ask for more.
Well, you know, that is so interesting, because I'm wondering, how are you able to get the various organizations, which could be, I guess, nonprofit and for-profit organizations, to have the kids come in? How is that done? 'Cause
It's not easy.
Yeah, you said you've got aging centers and stores, and so talk a little bit about that.
So I mastered Google a long time ago.
Good.
Yes, so
Come help
I
me.
am very good at looking things up, and you know, I just look a lot of organizations up, and I see who's going to take 11 young people at a time, 11, sometimes 20 young people at a time, and I just start booking. And then to keep the relationship, I speak to the kids and let them know, hey, we're trying to build relationships with these people, and we want them to want you to come back. One particular organization, Martha's Table, Joyful Market, they call us on a regular basis because they love the fact that our kids are willing to help, and people always cancel on them, so we're like their go-to. They're like, hey, Nicole, we got this. Can you cover down? I'm like, absolutely. And what they do, they go into the elementary school and they give out groceries to the community. Anybody in the community can come in. So it's really about just building positive relationships with these organizations, because everybody doesn't want a 16-year-old, a 17-year-old to come in. And everyone, sometimes they see these kids and they're like, I don't want them here.
Right.
You got to give them a chance first, and that's what I tell them. Give them a chance first and see what they can offer you. And they appreciate them. So that's how I do it. Google. It's just me and Google.
Okay, all right, that's good. That sounds great. And so how does the community service equate to workforce development as you begin to move into the academic part of it?
So one, it gives them work ethic, something they haven't always been required to do. Now you're working for free. So if you can work for free and you're working the hardest that you're going to do, when you're getting a paycheck, you're really going to do it. Right. And then, like I said, there's people who are asking to work for these organizations. How can I be part of this organization and get a job here? So it's just helping them kind of get that work ethic, get their name out there. They're learning how to network. They're learning that their network and net worth is one in one. So they're learning a lot of things through just the community and what is out. These are things that they didn't even know existed in their community, and that they can get jobs doing it, and they're really interested.
Right. We've touched a little bit up on the academic part of it, but can you go over and tell me some of the courses that you're offering the students?
Oh yes, they do math, science, reading, and social studies. So those are the GED courses.
Right.
Aside from that, they do job skills, life coping skills. We have military science, where they learn about leadership and followership. We have 3D printing. What else do we have? We do Edgenuity class, where they're just pretty much honing in on some of their academic skills through that. And what other classes are you?
It's more of elective, but we also have the culinary arts.
Culinary arts.
Culinary arts, okay.
And automotive, right?
Automotive, and of course, Rodney's class.
Right, okay, that's I'm impressed. That's really great. Ronnie, this question is for you. Can you give us some example? First of all, I want you to talk a little bit about what you're training your students and the levels that you have.
Okay.
You have various levels. Then I want you to talk about some of your graduates.
Okay, so let's talk about one at a time then.
Okay.
So the levels, what we have is we have 3 layers. The first layer is computer essentials. That's basically for anybody, that everybody should know how to use Microsoft Office, cloud, right? When you're in any work environment, you want to learn how to code or you want to be advanced. If you cannot use the basics of a computer, we're going to be in trouble, especially in an office area, right? So we found out there's a lot of people, even at an affluent neighborhood, because I found out there's some of the kids that I worked with in an affluent area, their parents don't let them use the internet. They don't let them use the computer. They hit my class, I mean, it's like, on your mark, it's a go. And it's like, okay, well, what happened, right? They didn't even know how to, they lose their files because they saved it locally. They didn't know how to save it on the global. And I'm like, oh my goodness, it was horrible. So I said, we got to do something. So we made a base layer. And then we have a second layer called aspiring techie. And that's basically an introduction to different courses that we have, right? You know, kind of if they want to do animation, we have that. If you want to go into coding, we have that. Web design, we have that, right? Media. So we have these different areas. And then our last level is our Silicon Valley layer, and that's like our creme de la creme, right?
Yeah.
And so that is specifically designed, it's a very serious program. The last layer is a very serious layer, it's a very serious program, so that they are geared to collegiate environments and they're geared towards the workforce, right? We're very serious on that. So those are the 3 layers.
Okay, so when you're working with the challenge program, what level are you bringing those students into, those cadets?
So, we're working with a mixed group, right? So, it's very difficult. So I chose the aspiring techie layer, right? I don't want to overburden them all of a sudden. Oh my gosh, what is this, right? And everybody quits, and people start crying, and I don't want that happening. And it happened before, right? So, not the challenge program, other areas. I was like, oh my gosh, you know. So, and because I have a very different brand. A very different approach to it, right? So they thought it was a summer camp, and it's really not a summer camp anymore. So it's like, okay, so we started at the aspiring techie layer. It's an introduction, right, into a certain career field, right? And then we're going to create we have the Silicon Valley ready, but we want to implement it. So now when you're ready to really pursue this as a career, right, this is what you need to do. So it's kind of like a stepping stone for it.
Okay, that's
right?
good.
So they don't get overburdened so fast.
I understand. Right? Well, what about, do you have a testimony of a graduate?
I have a few testimonies. I just want to talk about one.
One. You gotta give them, they gotta have a chance to give their testimony.
Yeah, okay. I'm sorry. Get one. Okay. Well, I want to talk about Hannah Brown. Okay, so the profile of the student, you get these students, Hannah Brown. She hacked the system twice at the challenge program.
Whoa.
And she dropped out of school. And we're like, how did she do it? And we don't know how she did it. There's another student, I can't remember his name, he's recent. He actually, I asked him, so what are you doing here? You know, why are you here? He goes, I used to, build my own computer. And I look at him straight in the eye, I was like, you used to build your own computer? He goes, yeah. I'm like, so what happened? He goes, I just didn't want to go to school. I failed 9th and 10th grade. I'm just like,
he was bored, probably.
Bored as one. So they're very capable. They just need a structured environment.
Right.
But we do have Matthew Heller. I think one of the graduates, we had 2 graduates last time, right? And they're going off to college, right? Actually, 5 of them are going off to college. And then Matthew Heller is programming at a high-tech company as a high school junior. His coding and his work is being displayed in a trade show at Las Vegas.
Okay.
So we have a lot of positive results.
Okay, very
Yeah.
good. And then quickly, we don't have a lot of time left,
Sorry.
but that's okay. What I want to do is to find out how your two organizations are planning to work together going forward.
Okay, you want to answer that?
Well, on my end as the coordinator, of course, when Ronnie comes to me with these ideas of what he wants to do, so this time it's coding,
Yes.
you know, it's just my job to make sure that we can facilitate it.
Right.
Okay, make sure we can facilitate the time that he needs, make sure we have the cadets. And pretty much what I do is I help them kind of filter out the cadets.
Okay,
and make
that's
sure these kids also know you have the capabilities of doing things. Just like you said, Hannah Brown, how did you hack the system? But she didn't pass the GED.
Right. So
And
you
I
gotta
think the
work-
GED part is just confidence.
Yeah.
So if we can take his programming, build that confidence in him, like you can do if you get structured and do these things, that we can continue to have a partnership with him and get that structure with these kids.
LaToya, you get the last word.
Oh, okay.
Let me just say.
Honestly, I guess with him, it is just about building confidence. You know, just making sure that they understand that they can do anything they put their mind to.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much, and we're going to talk about bringing you guys back on. Okay?
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you. We hope that you have enjoyed this segment featuring Intuit Learning LLC and the Capital Guardian Youth Challenge Academy for showing us how they work so well together to prepare our young people for great jobs in the future and for productive and successful lives. Yes, it does take a village. We will see you next week, same time, same place, for another great Rock Your Block show. Bye-bye.